Uh, uh. Good morning. Good morning.
What's up, guys? It's the Morning Deuce. It's Dave Spindle. I have a lot of weird things going on in my head today. Not a lot of cohesive, like a lot of chunky, choppy thoughts. And so I just decided that I'd spit them all out there and just kind of roll with it. The first thing I have written down is actually a question, and it's for the female listeners we have. I don't understand rompers. Like, why? I just don't get why women are wearing rompers. And I know it's not like a new thing. Rompers have been like a thing for like 5 years now. For a male listener, basically, a romper is usually sleeveless, but it's like a onesie outfit where the shirt connects to the pants and they all look the same. And it kind of looks like what you would see like a baby that's almost a toddler in, like one that can't really run around on its own, or like maybe gets like 2 steps before it falls down, like that type of sort of onesie. And it just doesn't make sense to me why women want to wear it. It's like a onesie thing with usually sleeveless on the top, shorts on the bottom with like the butt cheeks hanging out a little bit down, like out the bottom typically. But it's not really a flattering piece of clothing. Like, I never look at a woman in a romper and I'm like, damn, that fits her body real good. It sort of feels like it's like a sack that you just put over the midsection of your body a little bit. It's not flattering to any of like the curves. It's not like a form-fitting item. It's usually kind of loose in a lot of places. It sort of boxes out your butt, which is like the worst thing for a dude or a chick. No one wants a boxy butt. Ladies don't want to look at a boxy man butt. That's why men aren't wearing rompers. That and a lot of other reasons. But it's not flattering. I don't understand. And it seems really difficult to pee in. You know, when you go to a bar and the woman's line for the bathroom is really long, maybe it's because you guys are also all, I mean, I know there's like some, genetic reasons why it's a little easier for men to just kind of get in and get out of there. But also, you guys are wearing some like really difficult clothing, it sort of feels like sometimes, to get in and out of. Like the dress isn't really a difficult piece of clothing, but sometimes like pants are so tight, they're like sewn on, and you got boots that are like strapped up like military status sometimes. But the romper just seems really difficult to pee in. It's like a gigantic onesie. Do you just get nude in the stall in the club? Like how does that process work? I guess. I just don't understand what the romper is doing. I don't see the pluses. The plus to the onesie. Like if it was a twosie, then you could maybe get one section a little bit more form-fitting. It would look a little better. And you could pee a little bit easier. So I don't know. If someone wants to enlighten me, I guess I just don't understand. It's been like 5 years now. I thought it was just like going in and out. But it's literally like what you would put a toddler in, like a romper. It sounds like something you put a child in. It sounds like the thing you put a child in, that like it's that little like wobbly playpen where their feet can like gently touch the ground so they can bounce a little bit, but they can't get in and out of it. That's what I think of when I think of the word romper. And then it's also got the onesie vibe to it. It basically is like a restrained toddler. That's basically what I'm thinking of. Someone who falls a lot. I don't understand how that's something that has become like cool for women to wear. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So if anyone wants to enlighten me, I don't understand. It's not a good look for the butt. Secondly, before and after photos, this kind of a little weird, but everyone's after photo is always better than their before photo. You never see a before and after photo where like the after is really shitty. It's rare. And if you do, it's probably like in a pamphlet telling you about a sexually transmitted disease. Or like this is what that body part looked like before, and then after, like it looks like a child in the heart of acne before Proactive was invented that was stuck in the desert for like 6 years. That amount of acne, like with no moisture to the skin on the genitals, that's usually the after part. But like a regular before and after photo, like it's always the after so much better. But I kind of have a theory. Why doesn't everyone just, we want to buy low. Like if you have an after that's better than your before, it's like, damn, that's going to be really competitive to get a hold of that girl or a hold of that guy. Like he's on the up and up. Everybody knows. But if my before was like pretty good, not amazing, but pretty good, and my after is like a little bit sloppier, what I showed you is I have potential. And with a little bit of work, you can buy low on me and we can really make something out of ourselves. Like isn't that the idea? If you're like, I feel like, what type of woman doesn't want to wish they like had dug into Justin Timberlake when he was like 16, just post Mickey Mouse Club, pre NSYNC? You know what I mean? Like if you had got in right at that, like right at the down parts, like some of the down parts before, because there's that gap there. If you could hit him in the gap where like, wow, before he was Mickey Mouse Club, now he's kind of shitty, but like there's potential because I saw it in the Mickey Mouse Club. Boom, dig in, you're good to go. It's sort of like the whole, like the whole, I don't know, like you look at someone like Chris Pratt and like now he's chiseled as shit. But there was sort of a weird gap there where like he was like kind of okay, and then he got like fatter as Parks and Rec went on and like sloppier a little bit, that like there were parts of Parks and Rec where it was like, there's your buy low on Chris Pratt. Like if you were smart, that's where you dig in. You dig into Chris Pratt right there, because then when he's chiseled out, you already won it. So I think maybe we're not doing the before and after thing right. Like what if I did my after photo now and I did my before photo when I was like swimming every day and like a lot better shape. And I was like, this is the potential I have. This is where I'm at right now. You're in a perfect buy low market, ladies. Invest here. Probably won't take you that much effort. Then you just like help me get to my great potential that I have. We can even surpass that. But you do the work and then you get the rewards. It's like you're on the ground floor of Apple. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes there has to be some bankrupts. Like Steve Jobs, he got kicked out of Apple. It was kicked out of CEO of his own company. That's when you want to buy Steve Jobs, because boom, ends up back in there. Apple's killing it. And he's dead now. But you get the idea. So I just think the before and after photo thing, we could be doing better. Also, I started telling women when they ask what I do, and they're strangers, they don't really know me, like know me through a third party, I tell them that I own a multi-dollar corporation, which is kind of true because like the website is worth more than $1, the domain name alone. So, and I have some assets, and by that I mean like I bought some equipment that you're listening to me crystal clear right now. I feel like that might be a line that could be used in an online dating profile. So I guess I need a little feedback on that. Like if you're a woman, you're looking at an online dating profile and the first line just says like owner of a multi-dollar company. Is that like funny but also like adorable, or is that just like this guy's an idiot? Which brings me to my next thing. We don't have any ads for the Morning Deuce right now because no one has invested in ads for the podcast yet. It probably has to do with the fact that I'm not on iTunes yet, but I will be, or Google Play yet, but I will be. But I wanted the viewers to be prepared for the fact that ads would come, right? And I also felt like if I was going to get ads, I should be good at the ads. and I can't practice until I get an ad. So how do I solve that problem? How do I get the viewers ready for the word from the sponsor and also be good at delivering the word from the sponsor? So that's when I had a brilliant idea, and that was fake ads, where I would just do a fake ad during the middle of the podcast. So I decided to do a fake ad. And today's fake ad, I'm just going to go. Ready? So here's the ad. Ready? So 3, 2, 1. Everyone go on down to Greg's Sushi. I know what you're thinking. Why is someone named Greg, who's probably white, running a sushi restaurant? In hindsight, it was probably a poor name choice, but you should feel bad about yourself for judging, because Greg is an American white person, but he's the adopted son of Asian parents. Yes, it happens that way too sometimes. So don't judge him. Judge his family's history of years cooking delicious seafood, or not cooking it raw at the sushi bar. Greg's Sushi, just 4 blocks from the downtown harbor, so you know the fish is fresh, even though it's actually brought in by a truck from a different state because it's cheaper and easier to consume. Greg's Sushi, where we have the best dining experience. Come for Friday night happy hour, where the drinks are the same price as normal, but because we want to drum up business, we're less likely to check your ID strictly if you're under 21 years old, because for Asian culture, drinking age isn't really that intensely verified, so culturally, we don't really mind if we bend the rules. Greg's Sushi, where we roll the white into your rice. Come on down. Visit us by the harbor. And then it says here you can get more information at www.asiangregs.com. That was Greg's Sushi. So there was an ad. It wasn't that bad. I felt like it wasn't that painful. I felt like I did a pretty good job reading. Maybe I can keep getting a little bit better. But yeah, we made it through that one together. So if anyone out there also owns a multi-dollar company, maybe that will trigger them to invest. Think about that. So that's the end of part 1. Whew, whirlwind today. It's a whirlwind. So as we start part 2, I just want to say randomly between part 1 and part 2, I just took my socks off, like subconsciously, but I'm on a cement floor in a garage. So it was a poor choice, and now I'm just holding my feet up in the air. I don't really understand why. Also, I Google imaged rompers, and I'm on the Forever 21 romper page. No one wearing a romper looks like the people in the modeling advertisements wearing a romper. Like, nobody does. So maybe that's what it is. Rompers are just a really well-marketed product that no one actually looks like. They must airbrush or contour these in some sort of weird way, because I've never seen a person in real life who looks like a romper model on the Forever 21 website. I still don't get romper. Somebody has to explain this to me. Every time I look at this, all I just think of is like, how do you pee? How do you pee? For part 2 today, I don't know what direction to go with this. I thought about this a bunch of different times. 56 years ago today, Harry Truman sent ground troops, the first ground troops into South Korea, basically like starting the U.S. part of the Korean War. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I can talk about the troop. But I've been talking about like military and American flag stuff a lot, and 4th of July is coming up. I was going to talk about that. So I just didn't make sense. And then I was reading this other thing about how this was like a day in history where Hitler, I think it's called the Day of the Long Knife, where Hitler had 100 of his biggest supporters in the Nazi political party assassinated because he thought they went too extreme and they were like pushing too far into the party, and he actually went to jail, was supposed to go for 5 years, only went for 9 months, wrote Mein Kampf in jail, like dictated it to somebody, got out because of political like pressure, and then the guy wanted to keep power, so he basically made Hitler like vice president, and then a building burned down. Hitler was able to get like a new election based on the political motivation of that, and then used the Nazi police force to prevent people who wanted to vote against him from voting. And next thing you know, he was like in power. And then the former ruler of Germany died. And like this whole thing just stemmed from this like pretty huge event where he just stabbed like hundreds, if not thousands, of people who were his like main supporters. But then I was like, well, what's the lesson in that? Like, there's what, like, okay, don't like do a mass stabbing, and then like if you're in jail, don't like plan world domination. There's nothing for us to really learn from that. I just thought it was something, but I really didn't have something super significant for part 2 until I thought of this. And by thought of, I mean found. And what I found was the wonderful Bernice Mary Bates, who we're celebrating her birthday today, June 30th. She was born in 1920. And in September of 2011, Bernice won the Guinness World Record for being the oldest yoga teacher. She practiced yoga until she was over 91 years old, and she's been teaching it for 51 years. And you can find videos of her like teaching it and instructing it online. She looks like she's maybe 65 years old, max. Maybe 70, because she's got some extra length in the jowls. You know, you grow on that a little bit, just do-do-dunk-dunk. But it's crazy. And I started to look it up, and then now there's another world record holder, this woman who was born in 1916, who is an active instructor at the age of 95. And I looked her up. Her name's Ida Herbert, and she doesn't look like she's any older than Bernice is. So basically, what I'm saying is keeping your body and mind fit will help you age beautifully and wonderfully. And that's a much better way to wipe off the deuce than the whole Hitler murdered all of his people that supported him thing. Very weird. So let's just go with the like get zen and flexible and whatever. But Ida, the 95-year-old yoga teacher, she said that her secrets to a long, fulfilling life is to avoid junk food, do a lot of gardening, have a glass of sherry after lunch, and make sure you do some flirting. This is what 95-year-old Ida, the yoga instructor, said. So there's something in there for everybody. That's it. It's been the Morning Deuce. That's it. I'm out, I guess. Word.